I'm going to start with the Lily Beth short stories first. It's opening up now. Okay. Lily Beth and her dragon. KEYGON the Dragon. One day, Lily Beth was reading a book called When Dragons Walk the Earth, all about her favorite topic in the whole wide world, dragons. And as she put down the book, she wondered if the reason dragons went extinct was because the earth was so much hotter back then, and that maybe the reason why no one has ever found a dragon's egg was because their eggs didn't look like eggs look today. She imagined that in the great heat of early Earth, they would probably look just like rocks and pebbles in order to blend in with their environment, so they wouldn't get eaten by the other animals that existed back then. So Lily Beth went down to the river and spent the afternoon rock hunting along the riverside. Then returned later that day with a leather bag filled with pebbles and stones. And the next morning she set up her solar oven out near the pool, over near the brick grill that her father had built but never uses. And she left it there all day to bake in the sun. As the sun heated it, then at night she put the rocks and pebbles back into the leather bag and brought everything back into the house and wrapped up the leather bag in a blanket to keep them warm overnight. And then she did the same thing the next day. And on the third day, in the morning, as she unwrapped the leather bag from the blanket and started to walk towards the bedroom door, pebbles started to fall out of the bag. So Lily Beth took a closer look at the bag and saw that it had a hole in it. Oh darn, she thought, how did a hole get into the bag? Now I'll have to go and sew it. So as she prepared to do just that, she heard a noise, and that is when she saw it. The tiniest little dragon, no bigger than a pebble, with the most beautiful rainbow wings. "Hello," she said to the dragon. But the dragon just said, "Ah!" As Lily Beth got closer. "Ah! Now who might you be?" she said. "Are you a dragon? I thought you'd be so much bigger than the size of a pebble. Now what am I going to call you?" "My name is Lily Beth, and I think I will call you KEYGON the Dragon." So as she tried to pick up KEYGON the Dragon, it backed off and hid under the bed. "I know," she said. "You must be hungry. Are you cold?" He nodded, as if he was saying yes. "Oh, I bet I bet you're hungry and cold." KEYGON nodded again. "How strange," thought Lily Beth. "It's as if he understands me." Nah, it couldn't be. It must be my imagination. So she raised the heat up in her room, then went out to the kitchen and got a piece of lettuce and a bottle cap filled with milk for her dragon, and put it on the floor next to her bed. Well, KEYGON the dragon wasn't interested in the lettuce or the milk, but it devoured that bottle cap, and then it devoured every bit of plastic she gave it. KEYGON said, "No," said Lily Beth. "It's you've had enough." And then she put KEYGON in a box, and then she put the solar oven out again and tried to heat up all the other rocks. But every day after that, she'd try to heat up the rocks to get another dragon to egg to hatch. to no avail. But one night as she was putting KEYGON the dragon to bed, she thought, why would it eat plastic? It must be something in the plastic. Oh, that's right, she said, remembering that plastic is a petroleum product. It's made from gasoline. Dragons must like gasoline. So Lilybeth filled a bottle cap up with some cooking oil, and KEYGON the dragon drank it down, and then smiled like Lilybeth smiles after she drinks some Coca-Cola. Candles were also a big favorite of KEYGON's, the dragon, as well. Well, thought Lilybeth, at least now I know how to feed you and make you smile. She said she had so much fun with that dragon over the next few days. She took it everywhere with her. Until the dragon became too big for her to carry it around in her pocket any longer. So she built it a little chicken coop so it could run around and flap to its heart's content in the backyard. And Lilybeth was amazed at how fast KEYGON the dragon was growing, and she could see it practicing how to fly and how to breathe fire, not being able to do either quite yet. So she thought she would help it. So after she emptied her backpack out that was filled with books, she put KEYGON the dragon into her backpack, and then she climbed up. Then she put it on, and then she climbed up on one of the trees in her backyard with KEYGON the dragon in her backpack to as far up as Lilybeth dared to climb. Then she took KEYGON the dragon out of her backpack and set it on a branch. "Don't look down," she said to it. But, of course, the first thing it did was look down, and as KEYGON the dragon tried to figure out what was going on here, Lilybeth pushed it and shushed it along and got it to start running down the branch further and further out until it was as far out from the base of the tree as it could go, and suddenly it was flying. Lilybeth was so proud as KEYGON the dragon circled around the tree. Her dragon was flying. "Ah, ah," it said. "Ah, ah." So then Lilybeth climbed back down the tree very carefully and waited for KEYGON the dragon to land. But it didn't land. Instead, it flew away. "Don't fly away," Lilybeth said to it, and she was very sad when it didn't return, and she cried because she didn't want to see her dragon leave. But KEYGON the dragon had heard the call of the wild, and had answered it, and was now on his way off on some grand adventure someplace. Lilybeth just knew it. So then days passed, and Lilybeth would check the chicken coop every day that she had built for her dragon, hoping that it would return to her. And then one day it did. KEYGON the dragon flew back to Lilybeth, and she could see that he was now big enough for Lilybeth to ride on. So Lilybeth got up onto its back, and they took off. And as they flew around the city and park, no one looked up as they flew past, because they were all far too busy looking down at their phones to look up and notice a girl on a dragon fly by. Then when KEYGON the dragon dropped her off in her backyard, she said, "Thank you, KEYGON the dragon." And KEYGON the dragon said, "You're welcome, Lilybeth. Thank you." "What?" said Lilybeth. "You can talk?" "Yes," said KEYGON the dragon. "That's great," said Lilybeth. "Now we can talk and take rides across the sky and have so much fun," said Lilybeth excitedly. "Oh, it'll be wonderful. We will have so much fun." "No," said KEYGON the dragon. "We are not allowed to leave Cloud City, the home of dragons and unicorns." "Unicorns too?" "Yes. I just got special permission to come down here and thank you for helping me until I was big enough to fly home to Cloud City on my own and rejoin my people." "You didn't need to do that," said Lily Beth. "Yes, I did," said KEYGON. "Because you protected me when I was small and I needed you when you didn't have to. And I will never forget what you've done for me."